McCall Hawley is a Duke student intern at the Women's Center who works with sexual assault cases and knows the reporting process well. She says sexual assault on Duke's campus can be a taboo subject. She says having the courage to report the assault can take years for some victims, but Duke put a 1-year time limit on them.
A lot of victims of sexual assault feel guilty, like it was their fault, and I don't like that Duke put a time limit on how long you could report an incident because you don't understand how the recovery process is different for every person.
To McCall and many other students at Duke, the 1-year time limit wasn't the only problem.
Having the courage to report sexual assault is incredibly underrated. It can take days, weeks, months, years for someone to tell someone that they've been sexually assaulted. I don't feel that a suspension and a simple slap on the wrist was an appropriate punishment. I believe that expulsion is far more appropriate for students that have been found guilty of sexual assault or rape, and I see this as only one step in appropriate punishment.
Duke student government agreed. It removed the 1-year reporting limit and increased the penalty for attackers from a semester suspension to expulsion. That makes it easier for victims to report the assault and allows them to do it when they feel ready. DSG President Stephanie Jones led the effort to get the policies changed. She first studied policies at other universities, then worked to build support for changing Duke's by posting columns in the Chronicle, Huffington Post, and other papers.
From the time I wrote the first article to when they actually changed the statute of limitations, it was only about a month. There were definitely some obstacles, but I felt that if Duke can make it easier for even 1 or 2 students to feel more confident in reporting, that was worth it.
It is difficult to measure the legislation's impact because reports of assault are confidential, but many students are pleased with the new policy.
Obviously, further legal measures need to be taken in such situations, but I like that Duke has changed the policy to help victims feel more empowered.
By allowing women to seek justice against their attackers, whether they report in 2 days or 2 years, more women may report, and that could in turn lead to fewer attacks.